Yo, man, where'd you get this sign at? This is trash.
Well, man, people kept telling us that we needed to think about putting something on our back wall. So I gave my man Doug at Mile High Signs a call, and he took care of us, and he's got our banner looking real nice over here.
Is good look. Sounds great.
I have to agree. If you have any commercial needs for banners or signs, go to Doug at Mile High Signs. He will take care of you. He doesn't do stuff like happy birthday grandma or congratulations, it's your first onesie. Commercial needs only. Doug at Mile High Signs. He will take care of your needs. Thanks, Doug.
What's up, sports heads? This is Stephen Mathews. I'm coming at you with a little bit different segment today. This is a breakdown of one of my favorite teams ever, Chicago Bulls. I'm going to give you an insider perspective of what the status of the team is at this point, and just a couple points about the team going forward and things you can look forward to if you are a Bulls fan or just a fan of basketball. So last year, we got put out in the second round to the eventual champion Miami Heat, 4-1. It's something that a lot of fans may look at as a bad thing. I took positivity from that because knowing the way our team broke down, Rose actually didn't come back at all in the season. We had a lot of injuries going throughout the whole playoffs. It actually was a miracle that we made it out the first round, beating Brooklyn in 7 in the epic series. So we're looking at now a team that is on the brink of being able to push the Heat out of the playoffs altogether and contend for a championship. A lot of fans would say that. However, looking at things, our team is a little bit in flux right now because we have some key pieces to a championship team. However, we have a couple of things that are kind of holding us back, one of them being the salary cap. We don't have a lot of cap space to make a lot of noise in the free agency pool this year, which there are some promising players that I think could make the Bulls a little bit better. Luol Deng is one of the higher paid players in the league all the way together, and he's still under contract with us for another year. He's going to be making close to $14 million this year. Carlos Boozer, he's an underachiever on our team, but he's still another player we owe close to $14 million to also, and he's going to be on our team. Doesn't look like they're going to be really looking to move him. I mean, there have been trade rumors here and there, but no teams is really going to bite on Boozer because of his production overall. I mean, he's a productive player, don't get me wrong, but it's just like the overall fit of things I don't think are working out, and I think a lot of teams and GMs see that, so nobody's going to really bite on Carlos Boozer at this point. We have some guys that we're probably going to have to depart from, one of them being Nate Robinson, who became one of my favorite players overnight from his production last year and just his overall way he took over games. It was just something to see. He had some exciting games, one of them being in the playoffs against Brooklyn in that epic double overtime game. Very good game, and he came through, a lot of times, but with it being free agency and everything, he's going to be looking to make more money, and I don't think the Bulls are going to be able to save and be able to save him because I think he's going to be able to make more money somewhere else, and he's probably going to want more minutes because with Derrick Rose coming back, you got to understand we have Derrick Rose, Kirk Heinrich, who's still under contract, is another guy we're paying quite a bit of money to. So those are going to be guys that we're going to keep on board. The draft just passed, and actually the Bulls did a very, very good job of bringing in some pieces that could help us match up well with the Heat as well as with the Knicks and the Pacers, who were the other contending teams. Brooklyn also being a team. They brought in a wing player in Tony Snell, that putting him along with Jimmy Butler and Luol Deng are going to be two players that they're going to be three players that can guard anybody on the wings and match up with anybody that you could throw at them at the wings. Snell's going to be a fine player for the Bulls, and that's a good pickup. Eric Murphy is a power forward who, in a sense, I guess can play a role similar to Boozer or Taj Gibson. He's a stretch forward with a little bit of a mid-range jumper. He can even probably step out and hit a three if he with a little more practice. So he's a guy that I'm looking at. He was a very productive player at Florida, and I think that he can, with a little development, I'm sure Thibodeau won't play him too many minutes this season. Give him time to develop, and I think he'll be a guy going forward that the Bulls will look to be a player to complement Derrick Rose. Let's see here. So looking at it, there are a few players that the Bulls may be able to afford in free agency. Oh, speaking of free agency, today I just got word that the Bulls signed Mike Dunleavy Jr. From the last play for the Milwaukee Bucks, 2-year deal for $6 million. So that's I think we're getting a lot of bang for our buck with him. He's a guy who can put the ball on the floor. He can play the 3 or the 4. He's a 6'10", hybrid player. And he's going to be a guy who can actually shoot the 3 ball very well. He's a very good bench player, and he's cut from a championship cloth. He's another guy from Duke. The Bulls sure like those Duke guys, I tell you. So I like that pickup. I think overall that's going to be a pickup that will help the Bulls in the play to make a playoff push this year. To complement Rose. Who else? There's a couple guys that I think the Bulls should take a long look at. One of them being Corey Brewer, a Nugget as of now, but he's a guy that's a great defender. He's a guy who will run the floor, and when you place him out there with Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose, he'll be a guy that can run the floor and make some things happen. Because that's the thing the Bulls definitely need to improve on is fast break points. Last year, me and my friend would always talk about, a fellow Bulls fan, the Bulls didn't get any easy shots. It just everything was half court. And this is one thing the Bulls definitely have to improve on this year is getting easier looks, getting fast break buckets. And a guy like Brewer will definitely make that happen. Nuggets fans will definitely agree with that. Another guy that potentially we may be able to afford, it would probably some type of sign and trade would have to be done, is Monte Ellis. I know a lot of Bulls fans, I've been reading blogs and reports about it. A lot of Bulls fans scoff at that. But the Bulls, as good of a defensive team as we've been over the years, I mean, we're a couple years removed from the Eastern Conference Finals, but it just is going to show that as defensive as we've been, the East is starting to evolve. The Miami Heat can put up points with the best of them. The Pacers are even starting to put up more points. The Knicks put up points. The Bulls have to become more offensive. We have plenty of defenders. We got to start bringing in some more guys that can play offense. Monte Ellis is a guy who can create his own shot. He's a guy that isn't really as selfish a player as people would think. There have been times when he played for Golden State where he actually was one of the top assist getters on their squad. He's a guy when he playing in the role. He played the role with Milwaukee to a sense. Brandon Jennings isn't as good as a point guard as Derrick Rose. Overall, Derrick Rose, when healthy, is the best point guard in the league. And all he needs is a little help. And I feel like if he got a guy like Monte Ellis in there who could take a little pressure off him so that way he doesn't keep getting banged up and keep getting these injuries that are hampering the Bulls, he's a guy I think that could push us to the next level. Because looking at the Heat, I don't think they have a guy, except for LeBron James, on their team that could really hold Monte Ellis. And if you match him with Derrick Rose, then they don't have enough defenders, in my opinion, to be able to hold those two guys on the perimeter. So that's a good look at what we got going on. So it's just going to be interesting to see what we're doing in the draft. In the free agency. And only time will tell. But right now, one thing I will tell you is the Bulls are on the right track to being able to dethrone the Heat and to hold off the Pacers and take back the Central Division. This year, I guarantee that with Derrick Rose back, MVP form, it's going to be a big season for us coming forward. So I'm going to wrap it up there, sports fans. I'm going to start coming back with these segments a little bit more, and I would love to hear your feedback on how you like it, and take care.